Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fletch Dez podcast. Today, on this special episode, we are introducing two new members. Well, two special guests who, may be recurring or not, but this is our first time with a special guest. Please, without further delay, please, for the love of God, introduce Mr. DJ and Ethan. Hello, how are you two doing today?
I'm doing good. My name's DJ, or you can call me Clxneage, Ace, whatever. You can check out my Instagram at Clxneage with an X, as no, whatever. If you want to, do or don't. I don't know if I can do it.
You just came on here and started self-promoting just like that. You just
Guys, sub to JFletch.
I'm Dr. Tenma 46. I go by Ethan mostly. You can find me at Dr. Tenma 46 on Twitter. I draw a lot, and if I don't draw often, you can yell at me. There should be a new drawing soon. That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah, that's it.
Talk about your OC.
And of course, the one and only Mr. Fletch.
I'm not a guest.
Well, you know what?
He's
Shut up,
always
bitch.
been here, Kitty. He's always been here.
Shut up. All right. So this is this is our first podcast that isn't related to a video game and is instead going to be something completely different. We are going to be talking about, as the title says, YouTube drama and the
Life
death
is like a
of
video game.
YouTube. The death of YouTube as a whole. And I want to, in this whole entire video, I am going to analyze. Well, we are going to talk about YouTube drama, and I have my own theory on how YouTube as a whole is going to end and how this is going to affect the world in a very negative way, in terms of the media world, in a very negative way. But without further delay, let's get started. So, to begin with, let's go back to the first piece of drama, all the way back.
What's
And
the first
I believe
piece of
it was. I actually don't know the exact first piece of drama. That can go back to when William Johnson was stealing from Grande, and I think that was actually in 2014. I damn well know that's not the first piece of drama. However, why do you have that stick in your hand?
It's a giant
Kenny,
stick.
what are you talking about?
He's
Kenny, are
sorry.
you crazy?
Need Joshua right now.
Are you crazy? What are you
Sorry.
talking about?
Sorry, we have our webcams on the Discord call. My apologies.
We are
I'm gonna
going
turn mine
to-
on soon. I just gotta find a shirt. Oh wait, here's a shirt. Not bad.
Alright, but so going back to it, the whole entire YouTube drama as a whole. Oh, wait, is that you, John? Is that you, DJ? Oh, my bad.
Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Okay, well here we go. Sorry. I haven't slept, so I'm a little bit drowsy today. Apologies about that. But anyways, let's continue this. So, the whole entire piece of YouTube drama, I think the most important piece of YouTube drama has to go down to the notorious H3H3 versus Leafy is here. That whole entire thing really just goes to show about how really snaky the whole entire community was, the commentary community. But we should probably explain what the commentary community is for those who don't know what the don't know the golden age of YouTube. So the commentary community is where basically it was some shady kid named Leafy is here, and he had the master idea to combine gameplay videos with talking about subjects, and this mastermind of an idea started a whole entire chain of events that led it to being a trend and starting a whole entire community called the commentary community, in which people would start to make.
Kenny, I don't think Leafy created commentary videos because those
Well,
existed. I think
okay,
he just
yeah.
popularized it.
Popularized,
Just
yeah.
Yeah,
made
but
it-
we kind of
He
sparked
just made
it.
it like seem.
Sparked it up a little bit more, like popularized it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't lie about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
pretty much sparked the commentary community. And also, I want to ask, by the H3 versus Leafy drama, are you talking about like now
Not
or
the
like
not
back
the,
then?
well, wait, they're at shit with each other now?
No, like basically there's this meme.
Is it like
There
the
was a
little-
meme
is
on
it
Leafy's
like-
channel where
Oh, it's
Ethan
like, I
was
would
like,
like to see him come back. I would like to see
I would
Leafy come
love
back.
to see Leafy come back in YouTube's landscape.
Yeah, and
The
I mean,
scary
I guess-
thing about what Ethan said is that he was right. That's the scary thing about what he said.
Yeah, but let's go more into detail about that. 1 second, please. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna kill my dog.
Go. And we are back. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Yes. So, H3H3 versus Leafy's here had to be the first, interaction between, two large commentary channels. And it really just goes to show about, like, how different and, like, two-sided the whole entire community was back then. See, modern communities usually are very brain dead, but it seems that the brain dead, in this case, was split up in two between one side and the other, and it was very interesting. And if anything, was the most fun shit anybody could spectate. H3 versus Leafy's here, and that still goes on to this day, which is amazing.
Yeah, like
But
I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember a lot about what happened. Like, was it because I forgot what
basically,
happened? Who made a video on who?
H3 called out Leafy for basically bullying people, which he was during the time, and basically, once this happened, you know, he made money off it, and H3 was like, well, that's kind of shitty. And Leafy knew it was shitty, and he literally straight up admitted it. It was like newer episodes, or before his channel got deleted, and he was like, yeah. But it's just a known fact that he didn't really show any remorse, because he really didn't give a shit. But this whole entire scene...
I have a question. We should discuss this.
What?
Before Leafy came back, do you think Leafy was a good content creator? Like, beyond
Honestly,
the revolutionary stuff he made, beyond like his contributions to the community, do you think he was a good content creator?
honestly, yes. I feel if it weren't for Leafy, he was the first really edgy content creator out there, and like I'm talking about like the type to, you know, boil your blood, in which like he would like say very toxic things to basically, he was a bully, and I feel like because this was new to YouTube, this never happened before, this really edgy content. And I feel because of this change in the formula, it was very interesting to watch him, and it still was. Like, I don't go back to his older videos because honestly they're just kind of annoying now. But it's just it was just repeated the same old jokes. However, and I mean technically that still kind of is. That's just Leafy in a nutshell. He just doesn't know how to let a good joke die. But aside from that, though, his content was very interesting. I feel like during the time, it was a really good content at the time, and I still think it is. It definitely changes up the formula, and it was content that you would not see anywhere else. And I'm upset that, you know, that Leafy was truly the last content creator who could make such things. And it's really fun.
I was gonna say where I land on this is Leafy's content wasn't really. I mean, after he started getting attention, he started to just make videos quickly and just churn out videos left, right, and center, and the quality just decreased in a lot of them. Sure, there are a lot of videos that are funny, but the vast majority are him just repeating the same jokes over and over again because he thinks that's funny, and it's not funny, and people watched him because he was funny. And I just think that his humor was really declining in a lot of his videos because he was like, these numbers are going up, so if I make my numbers go up, those numbers
Let's
will
just
go
agree on
up.
one thing right now, though. Leafy was not funny. He was never funny.
Yeah.
He was a cool person, but his sense of humor was the most unfunny humor out there.
He made a
Still
couple of funny jokes.
Yeah, but
once
some
in a
people
while.
did find him funny, and that's why they watched him until it stopped. Until it just kept on getting repetitive.
Okay, here's what I'd say about Leafy's content. I'm gonna be honest with you. Even when he was popular back then and I was watching YouTube, I still didn't like his content that much. Like,
Yeah.
to me it was just like pessimistic, negative and stuff, and I just wasn't about that. I can understand why people did like his content though, because it was kind of like out there. You didn't see anybody like finding some random video of a kid like rapping or something and then making fun of them for it. Like you don't see that every day. And of course, like, that would never happen now because of YouTube's harassment policies.
Yeah. Which, now that we're done with the, I want to go more into the research. So, this whole entire event of H3H3 versus Leafy is what started something that blew way out of proportion. I recommend, if you really want, like, a good video or like a really good essay, I'd say watch Leafy, the Leafy is Here documentary.
Is it like an actual documentary or is it like a YouTube video?
Implement. It's Implement made a video
Oh
about
yeah, I remember it. I remember that video.
Yeah, it blew way out of, like, that whole entire thing blew way out of proportion. And I'm not really going to cover too much. If you want to know about it, I'd recommend go watching the video because that's generally a great video. But as we all know, that led to whole entire reign of events that, you know, occurred. But I feel something that slowly but surely came out of it is that I think that was the first scene of cancel culture. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out for a second. Hear me out. Just hear me out for a second. Leafy is here. Left because of burnout, right? Because he was sick and tired of making the same repetitive videos. Once he got, he's already admitted to not, to like never looking at like the comments and shit, like not giving a shit about you know, the feedback or anything. However, I feel because of the drastic change in turn perception he had during this time and like how public opinion was changed on him, it led to him getting burnout way sooner. Because I don't believe, because at the same time that this was all happening, all of his like friends and shit, like Pyro and stuff, like randomly vanished. Now we don't know the whole entire story behind that and shit, but I feel like the whole entire sudden turn in events led to true madness.
I also heard like there's some drama with Leafy taking people's animations and not crediting them for it and stuff. Or like how he like talked to content creators, like gas them up and stuff. Be like, I really like your content, man, and like drop them. I don't know if that was, I think that was either Keemstar or Leafy. I have a feeling it was Leafy though.
No, it was Keemstar. Or no, not Keemstar. Leafy. Elvis the Alien, if that's his name, I can't remember right now. He made a good video about that, about how he was like, and he was also talking about situations where there was this animator who's a huge fan of Leafy, and who spent like 6 hours like just crunching, like animating like a scene for like a joke scene for one of his videos, and it wasn't put in,
No, it was
and
put
he
in,
wasn't
but he didn't
paid.
credit it.
Yeah, it was either he didn't put it in or it put in without credit, and still, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's in, yeah, but you're not going to get any credit for it. So it's like, why do it in the first place?
Yeah. So, I feel like just due to the sudden, huge negative reception and him becoming public enemy number one, I feel like deep down that kind of made him change his whole entire cognition, and he was then suddenly, because before then there was like shit with him, but it never like public opinion didn't like turn around so quickly. It was almost inhuman, and I feel because of that reason, that's why he got burnout as quick as he did.
Okay, here's my thing about that. I think the hate with Leafy back then was kind of justified. Because
Oh no, it was justified. It's still justified. I'm not defending Leafy. What I'm saying here is I feel like that's the reason why he left.
I could see that's why he left. Because
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you're public enemy number one, why would you continue being a public figure?
Well, it's because he didn't care. Okay. In his newer content, he explains the reason why he left, and it was basically because he was getting sick and tired of he was like just getting huge burnout.
didn't he also
that's
say
understandable.
like the YouTube landscape itself was changing, like YouTube was changing and stuff? Like, Leafy knew for a fact he couldn't keep making the kind of videos he was. I think that's why I left. Because YouTube itself was
Well, then why would he
changing,
come back? Why would he come back then?
Well, his content was different. Like, his content wasn't the
Was
same.
No, he changed. His content was basically the same.
No,
I mean, have you
no,
looked
it
at his
wasn't.
thumbnails?
Yeah, sure. His
They don't care about. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, but like, look at
YouTube doesn't
the.
really care about the thumbnails. As long as like the second that he went off after Pokemon, and he made like 8 videos after her, it like went down like the path of technically that's harassment, and like even though it really wasn't harassment, but YouTube didn't really give a shit, and they took him out Agent 10 style and just shot him in the back of the head without like a single thought.
Okay, here's my problem with Leafy's ban with YouTube. I'm gonna be honest with you. Making multiple targeted videos about someone and putting them in the thumbnail, I can see why that's harassment. I'm not gonna act like, no, that's not harassment at all. That's just making constructive criticism.
That's harassment. That's
Like,
harassment.
Yeah, it was harassment, but he never got a community guidelines. Well, he got a community guidelines strike, but he got 3 at once, terminating his channel.
Oh no,
He was never warned. He was never told.
No. He didn't get 3 at once. He just got straight up removed, Agent 10 style.
No, that's how they removed them. They added 3 strikes to his channel, and that's what I believe, because YouTube is saying, well, he had strikes on his channel, and I believe like they're telling a white lie where it's technically true. Like, he did have strikes on his channel, but they added it all at once to terminate it. Because 3 strikes, you're out. That's how it works on YouTube.
That could be true.
Because YouTube wouldn't just lie about how they would take down a creator. They're not going to lie and say, oh, he had 3 strikes on his channel, but then he actually didn't. They're not going to lie about that. I believe they told the truth about that, but it's like in a way where he didn't accumulate 3 strikes, he just got 3 strikes at once.
Yeah, I agree with Joshua.
That makes sense. What are your guys' take on it so far, Mr. Ethan and Mr. DJ?
To be fair, I'm kind of siding with Joshua. Right?
What about you, Mr. Ethan?
I just feel like it's YouTube's platform. They can do whatever they want with it, and if something is harassment, then it's their power to get rid of it. I also agree with Joshua, like, if YouTube is like 3 strikes, and he's gone. They clearly just made the strikes all in 1 second. I mean,
yes, YouTube does have the right to just like remove anyone that they feel that deems to be removed because of harassment or whatever. But some people can actually be ruined by that. Obviously, Leafy wasn't ruined by that because I mean, like he already had ruined himself.
yeah.
But
Like YouTube
you gotta
as
think about
YouTube
the people.
systems
He
are
already
completely
made
messed
money.
up.
He was happy with it.
No, he wasn't happy with it. He just didn't care that much.
Yeah, he just didn't care.
He made his money.
That's my take.
Care anymore.
That's my take. It's against TOS, and he got punished. I feel like the punishment should have been like. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
YouTube should
honestly,
have
if
more
Leafy can just be
communication.
if Leafy could just be removed randomly, because he's technically still a commentator channel. Some like other YouTubers that criticize YouTubers are most likely going to be taken down as well. Which is why, let me get down to my point of this whole entire conversation. Cancel culture is what caused this, and cancel culture is what ruined YouTube, and is going to ruin YouTube and ruin social media as a whole.
I don't think it's gonna ruin it because there's always that, like, sure,
Let me
it might
explain my reason.
ruin the commentary side, but there's more to YouTube than commentary. There's more to social media.
Yeah,
than
there's more.
Let me explain. So this is going to be a little bit long, but let me just explain. I hope you're ready for a long ride. So let's begin. YouTube started to become more of a mature, I'm saying that in quotes, mature place in 2019 to 2020. I think this is when James Charles / Pro Jared, when all the accusations started to come out about like famous YouTubers and stuff, these were taken a lot more seriously. And because Twitter decided to go into full pussy mode, and suddenly, with so many new things that are coming out at once, people started to change, mature, if you will. But the way that they matured just turned out to be fucking pathetic. With this information, cancel culture was born, in which that everybody would come together to cancel a YouTuber and completely destroy his career. Example, Pro Jared. If he would have spoken about it sooner, he would have just kept all of his followers. However, he didn't, and then he got punished. James Charles is a survivor of cancel culture.
No, Pro Jared.
Because he was able to...
Hold on, Kenny.
No,
Pro Jared
Pro
is still
Jared did
making
survive.
content.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he's
subscribed
still
to him. He's still
content.
making content. He's relatively
Yeah, he's
successful.
still making content. Yeah. He's relatively successful, but he would have gotten less shit if he just would have spoken up. He lost like 300,000 subscribers in less than a week.
Yeah, but didn't he gain it back?
If I'm thinking about this,
No, he didn't gain it back. He's just recently got like 200k subscribers. So, cancel culture as a whole, we can understand the effects that its whole entire like theme is capable of doing. It's able to destroy somebody's career, with accusations going on about different people, with multiple people butting in to try to add their take into the situation. It starts to become more of a topic thing, and it really just comes down to, I look at it more of like kind of political in a way, as in people will get extremely upset if you have a different take than them, or if you have a different opinion than them, and it starts to go out of control and turns into a wild debate, in which Twitter is notorious for. And I feel because of how unkept I'm just gonna say that, or unchained Twitter is, in which that they can just go after anybody, because nobody ever speaks out against it. People will say cancel culture is bad, but nobody ever like goes out of their way to try to disarm cancel culture. Nobody really does. They just say, oh, it's stupid to cancel people, without giving any reason why you shouldn't cancel the person to begin with, and that is what is leading. And that is what is leading, like, that is what's like leading. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Is what's like leading people to refuse to listen. Are you know, they're like, the whole entire idea of cancel culture is to cancel somebody basically because they have a different opinion, and that is just something that is pathetic. And people will say this, but they won't really give it any examples. And it really just boils down to them, one person making an edgy comment and then their whole entire career being completely ruined. It's making people soft at the end of the day. It's making people more soft, and I feel like because of how soft people are getting, they start to become more irrational, which leads to cancel culture to be more easily manipulative. Because now let's look at the Shane Dawson situation, where people started to cancel him. Where people started to cancel him because he was messing with little kids. Well, he wasn't messing with little kids, but he made a lot of jokes about like kids.
Wait, hold on, Kenny. Hold on. In my personal opinion, I feel like Shane Dawson being okay, first of all, Shane Dawson is like the only popular YouTuber that comes to mind that has gotten genuinely canceled. Like, to the point where they can't come back. Like, Shane Dawson cannot make a comeback from what he did. But in my opinion, it's justified.
I don't think it was just the kid thing. I think it was mainly because, like, or not mainly, but it was also added with the thing about the bestiality with catfishing and the blackface, right? When he did in like June, back when riots were still around and people were still preaching Black Lives Matter for their lives. Shane Dawson had did blackface, and then he got canceled for it. And he's obviously not gonna make a comeback because all of the above are just wrong in general. So
yeah, he's done way too many bad things.
One question: I don't remember him doing blackface during the riots.
I don't remember that either. Didn't he? Wasn't it just exposed that he did it?
I don't remember the bestiality thing.
I could have swore he did blackface. Hold up, let me.
No, he did do blackface. He did do blackface, but he didn't do it in June.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like it started to peak its head when the riots started peaking up as well. So.
But he didn't do it during the riots.
Okay, here's the thing about Shane Dawson.
That's the thing about cancel culture.
I think he should have been canceled because he's made way too many jokes about kids, and he's actually gotten kids involved. Like, you should watch this video by D'Angelo Wallace. He pretty much breaks down every single thing that Shane Dawson has done and just explains why he really deserves what he got.
One thing, crap, I lost my train of thought for a second. I feel like the blackface and all that stuff, I feel like his apologies made after those situations, I felt like those were really like, I really messed up. But as Shane Dawson became more popular and as he became more entangled in his popularity, at his new apology video, it doesn't address what people are actually mad about. What it does is it brings up old drama that was, I'd already say, was like resolved in a way, and just gives people more fuel to the fire. The thing with cancel culture is, I always think it has existed, I mean, not until it's like this huge peak. I think cancel culture and boycotting, they're very similar, but I just feel like while boycotting is, you boycott something usually for something good, I just feel like cancel culture is like the demented, like, opposite version of that. Like, you're not doing anything for good, you're doing everything for bad. Like, Sure,
Yeah.
but other people deserve cancel culture. But some people are just innocent, and you're just ruining their lives based on evidence that could or could be fake.
I
So-
agree with that generally, but Shane Dawson is an exception to the rule because
Yes.
he's
Yeah.
done so many things that are just messed up. Even
I'd
even
say
for
that
their
they were
Can we stay on the
jokes,
can we stay on
but
the topic for
they're
about
bad
cancel
jokes.
culture for a minute? Because I got some shit on my mind right now. Because I mean, cancel culture is okay. I'm not gonna say it because I know it might get demonetized for it.
no,
But
it's
cancel
okay.
culture,
No, we don't care
Yeah.
about. We don't care. You can say fuck all you want.
Yeah,
no,
we're not even
that.
gonna get
I wanted to
monetization.
no that not that. I wanted to say the R word.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You
retarded.
probably shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Racist?
We don't, dude. If people want to come at me, I have autism, so come at me, bitch.
Damn. Come on.
Whatever. But cancel culture is fucking stupid for many of reasons. Like kind of like what Ethan said. It's kind of like boycotting, except it's just trying to diminish somebody for something that they did. Most likely long ago, because they did the same shit with they tried to do the same thing with Joji, where there was like, oh my god, we're gonna cancel him because he used to be Filthy Frank. Like, how did you not know that? You fucking donut.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tried to do the same thing with Tyler just because he had made a rape joke in one of his songs years ago.
Yeah. Cancel culture, it just comes down to Twitter being filmed. We need to ruin Twitter. We just Twitter okay.
It's not just on
Time
Twitter.
Kenny.
It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok. It's on every social
And
media.
even then, Kenny, I don't think you quote unquote have to ruin Twitter because it's already ruined. And even then,
Yeah,
most of the cancel culture isn't even on Twitter. It's mostly on, like, if you ask me, it's mostly on TikTok.
Yeah, like my sister shows me stuff on TikTok a lot, like how someone will someone will be like, "Hey, did you rape that 12-year-old?" And then the guy was just like smiling and like, "Ah ha ha," but like it was one joke, and people were like, "Oh my god, he's a pedophile."
Yeah, because people are snowflakes. They don't know how to take a fucking joke.
Exactly, they don't, and it's just disgusting. And people who are unable to take jokes is just fucking. It gives me an actual headache because.
Okay, clarification. He said, "Would you date a
Well,
12-year-old, not what you rape a 12-year-old." Clarification.
Well, actually, hold up. But here's my take on it. With dark humor, yes, dark humor is subjective. Yes, dark humor should not be this openly mannered to where, like, if you just say, haha, I raped that 12-year-old, like, it wouldn't necessarily be funny. Like, it's more dark humor is more like a thing you should joke about with your friends if it's like that dark. But if it's like slightly dark, just like, oh, something about like Auschwitz or something, like, then obviously, like, if it's just like a simple joke, like, to where everybody can quite literally tell it's a joke, then it's okay, if you ask me, because dark humor is supposed to be, it's still subjective, because it's still humor, and humor is subjective. So, for all the,
Yeah, exactly. But
I just want to say this for all the little girls that be like, oh, dark humor is something that you went through. You can't just say, oh, it's dark humor. I mean, because I struggled through it. Like, you have to struggle. No, dark humor is just taboo, but it's just taboo being brought to light in the form of humor.
Yeah. There's really just no better way of getting around it. It just comes down to cancel culture as a whole. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. It's a toxic thing that has spiraled out of control because guess what? Let's look at the most recent events. H3H3 versus Keemstar.
Alright,
Let's
this is
look at
my
that.
take on that. That is some of the most stupid drama I've seen. There is
know.
no reason for that drama to exist. Because
Yeah.
pretty much H3 was just like, oh, look at all these things that he's done, which is either wrong, been resolved or has already been on the limelight for a long time. Like, my thing is, like, why are you acting like people don't already hate Keemstar? Like, people already hate Keemstar. He's just there because he's not gonna, like, go down and be like, oh, I'm gonna stop making content since everybody hates me. That's just not the kind of person he is. Like, you can't cancel Keemstar.
Exactly.
Unless he comes out as, like, a pedophile.
My bad.
Unless he comes out as, like, a pedophile or
Exactly,
something, you're
because
not gonna
this is
cancel
the
him.
same person that tried to provoke Pokimane and her fans by saying Pokimane 2 out of 10. That's the kind of content he goes for. He strives to make a random comment to try and piss somebody off. It works, and then they just sparks up a whole lot of controversy over it. That's the type of content he goes for.
It's also impossible for YouTube to actually take action against Keemstar, since Keemstar was banned off YouTube once. And once you're banned, you can't make another channel. But since the YouTube account created under a different Gmail, he doesn't own it, someone else does, he can't be banned. That's a major loophole. You could just say your aunt has the account. Boom. Welcome back to YouTube.
Exactly.
No, I'm not.
Also, actually, now that I think about it, he can be banned because then his aunt would be accountable for his actions.
Well, I'm not his aunt. I'm not saying his aunt, but I'm just saying like, in
Yeah,
general,
but I'm
you could
saying
just say,
like the person that owns that YouTube account will be accountable for their actions.
Yeah, but here's the thing though about cancel culture that's happening. Cancel culture has now gone to taking people's ads, and soon it's going to go down to false striking people wasn't enough.
oh,
Now
it's already gone. It's already taken people's lives.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, because look at the Izu. Look at the Izu Mandabee's case. He was quote unquote. Or I don't know if I want to say canceled, but he was put on a raid list, and then he was bashed for. it, even though he was already proven innocent, and the only thing that he did was like slightly harass a girl and apologize for it very profusely until she blocked him, and then added into that list. He was so tired of the abuse and that shit that he was in that he had to take his own life.
Yeah, which just goes to show that cancel culture as a whole is just a tumor on the internet as a whole. And honestly, it's something that people need to be aware of. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna drop the biggest conspiracy that you're gonna see.
I want to add one more thing.
What?
The creator of Night in the Woods, Alex, he was outed on Twitter by this one person who, don't trust her. Come on, she makes literal allegations on every single guy every day. Don't trust her. She made major allegations saying that Alex, the creator of Night in the Woods, sexually assaulted her, and so you know what Twitter does? Twitter canceled him, so he was fired from his own company. He lost all his friends, and his company was filled with his friends. He was exiled from his friend group, and even his family were believing the allegation. So, as his sister wrote, she was just like walking up to his room, found him dead, hanging. And it's just like, wow, you're going to believe a literal idiot who every week makes the allegation.
This is cancel culture at its finest. Cancel culture is a weapon. Cancel culture is not a concept. It is it is the most dangerous weapon of 2020 out there.
It is
It's mainly when you put it into the hands of people who are actually smart and actually put in their research, or people who let their emotions guide them into whatever they do. Because I mean, cancel culture can cancel culture can be a great thing for if somebody actually did do something bad, and they actually need to be prevented and stopped from it. But also at the same time, it can be completely fucking utterly stupid.
It's literally
And if
it's
you
literally
just
Russian roulette. It's literally Russian roulette.
No,
It's like
here's the thing.
you
I
might
wouldn't
shoot
necessarily
yourself
say
in the
Russian
head.
roulette. I just say it's a double edge. I mean, a double-edged sword, to where like you can find, to where like you can use it for very useful things, but it can be the power can be handed to quite literally anyone, and it can be used for any stupid thing. Like, say you made say I made an allegation on Ethan saying that he raped a 2-year-old baby, and nobody else took that time to do the research. They just believed my allegation. He would be ruined.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So also on top of that, it is so easy to make fake evidence and not get caught for it. You can
Yes.
make fake documentaries. And here's the thing though, nobody's gonna sue your ass because it's fucking Twitter. You could use like a VPN and shit, and at like the
No,
most,
even once they find out you're innocent, what are they gonna do about it? Exactly, they're not gonna do anything.
yeah, so you could just straight up make fake accusations against somebody. Okay, now I find it really difficult for okay, so there's just one dude that I know named Chiaki Plush. Now Chiaki Plush is basically a simp for this one girl named Paige, right? And there's this one bitch named Zelda Plush, alright, who apparently did some really illegal shit towards Paige, and now he's trying to sue her. But here's the thing about that though. First off, the amount of money that would be needed to the amount of money that would be needed to get a lawyer, and at the same time you'll be lucky if you can like find a fucking lawyer to begin with. It really just comes down to all in all chance.
Yeah.
Alright, but I'm gonna give like a short example. Let's do now. I'm gonna keep their names anonymous for now, but because I respect their privacy and stuff. But so basically, there's these few people on Insta. I'm in a little small community. I'm not gonna go into detail, but there's like 3 members that are going head on head with each other because there was apparently somebody did some illegal shit. But the thing about that is, for them to somehow try to get in contact with a lawyer in order to go through with it, first off, this is I guess they're like 16 first off, so for them to somehow be able to get a lawyer, lawyers are hella expensive, and on top of that the other person could just straight up not show up. Like there's so many options, and on top of that, worst comes to worst, he would be able to private his account, maybe even delete it, so that he can get out of any legal trouble that he needs, because it's really hard to commit unless they're like a fucking sociopath or like a pedophile or a serial pedophile. Then it's hard for anybody to like go ahead and get like a lawyer of any kind to press charges against anybody, especially on social media. So you can't really you can't really
Yeah.
sorry about that, but you can't really like press charges against anybody on social media unless they're like a public figure. And we're going to put the best circumstance here. The person here is trying to cancel a famous YouTuber, make some fake accusations against them. People believe it. People start to cancel him. And then once he starts to get canceled, before people are able to really look too into it, they leave. They delete their account. They escape. The damage has already been done. The reputation has already been ruined. And on top of that, shit comes out. And this could keep going for quite some period of time until, you know, maybe eventually people will just like stop giving a shit or stop trying to cancel him because or they'll just think like everything that goes up against him is fake. But most of the time when it comes down to it, most people who are really desperate to cancel somebody will usually do it in a orderly fashion, or like, you know, sophisticated, if that makes sense. Like the example that you just said of like the dude who got canceled on Twitter. Everybody believed the person that they barely knew over him, and then he ended up killing himself. That's just like a prime example of like not doing your research at all, and it fucks people over. It relies on ignorance, and that's the thing about Twitter, and that's the thing about TikTok, and that's the thing about both social media as a whole. It relies, if you want cancel culture to work, you need to rely on ignorance in order to win.
Yeah. The one difference I see with the main discrepancy between boycotting and cancel culture, I would say, is cancel culture after like 2 weeks, nobody cares.
Yeah, they move on to the next target.
But with boycotting, people are actively like, we're not gonna stop unless we see change. They're very similar, but cancel culture is just, in my opinion, but just removing all the positive elements that boycotting could bring, just all negative. But yeah, that's where I land on that. I just feel like cancel culture, I don't think cancel culture is a good way. I don't think cancel culture is like a good name. I feel like people just canceling each other for like no evidence, that should be cancel culture. But I feel like it should just be holding people accountable. You know? Like,
Yeah.
don't brand everything as cancel culture. Because if there's someone that has done something really bad, you're holding them accountable. You're not going to go, ooh, we're going to cancel them. You're holding them accountable. Don't try to label someone doing something good under cancel culture. Because cancel culture is nothing. Like, it's just not that good. You're bringing yourself down.
And that's the thing about cancel culture, that is what I'm scared of. I think due to the fact of cancel culture is able to manipulate anything. And I feel that cancel culture could be a way to take anybody down. I mean, let's look at this. Shane Dawson, immediately once he got canceled, or once he was starting to get canceled, all of his ad revenue got completely vanished in a matter of fucking seconds. Now, was it well deserved? That's up for you to decide. I haven't really looked too far into the Shane Dawson incident, because I didn't really care that much. I apologize. But regardless, though, it got removed in about seconds, and it really just goes to show that cancel culture is slowly but surely starting to get more aggressive. And I feel as it continues to go on, people are going to start trying to enforce different guidelines in which that they are going to attempt to force people to follow certain acts before being okay to do shit. So like cancel culture will come in and stop every YouTuber from speaking their opinion without giving valid criticism first. Cancel culture will stop people from making certain jokes, or else they get immediately terminated.
Cancel culture as a whole is bad.
Yeah, it's slowly but surely becoming more and more toxic and more of a deadly weapon, and I do feel that it is single-handedly going to be the thing that takes down YouTube and all social media as a whole. It is relying on ignorance, let alone, and is the only thing that is stopping anybody from existing on this platform any longer. That is the thing about cancel culture. It is scary.
Alright.
The one thing
I feel
about
like-
cancel culture
Go on.
is, I feel like what you're trying to say is like cancel culture will bring the end of YouTube, and
I do feel that.
I would say not really in a way, because like people who use YouTube, let's think about like the common YouTube user that doesn't care about drama or doesn't even know about drama. Let's just say your mom, your dad, your whatever, just doesn't care. They're going to like use YouTube to look up like a tutorial on how to do something. YouTube is a great thing. It's making video sharing easier for people. It's a good thing. I just feel like this is just a very, very loud minority of people that's like, we gotta cancel you.
Yeah. Like, for me, I don't feel like it's going to bring the end to YouTube, because YouTube is much grander than just, YouTube is
Just
much
drama.
bigger than just, commentary channels or YouTube drama. Like,
Well, that's the
it's
thing,
just
though.
video
Hold on.
sharing. It's not.
Well, here's the thing, though. Commentary channels aren't really the only. Commentary channels aren't the only thing that's starting this cancel culture. You should know this.
Yeah, beauty
Joshua,
community channels too.
the beauty community as well. Yeah. And
Yeah, but
if the
like
beauty,
even then, that's still like a small minority of content. There's not like
yeah, a small minority, but that's going to expand over time, especially
I don't think so.
as like.
I mean,
Okay, let's hear it.
Ethan.
there was something that came out recently that was like, in the world there are 3.2 billion people that play games, but more than half of those were people playing mobile games or casual gamers. I feel like we can still put that to YouTube. Like, there's so many YouTube watchers, so many people that use YouTube, but a very large portion of those people are people who don't care or people who don't know about this.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's gonna ruin YouTube. It's just gonna ruin a part. It's degrading a part of YouTube.
Okay.
That's what I'd say.
Okay, that's fair, but I'm going to say this. Mark my words. Mark my words. YouTube or Leafy being banned is the first step of the new true age of YouTube.
I can see that.
And once this happens, now that YouTube is more of a softer place after deleting all of Leafy's videos, who knows what will happen next. If many people start attacking one video because it is less, like, family friendly or shit, then who knows what would happen. Like, it's starting to become unpredictable, and with this information in mind, the more unpredictable it becomes, the less we're going to understand it. And YouTube is already shit at telling us, like, the terms of service and stuff. So with these very vague guidelines, who knows what else is going to be manipulated into bullying and shit, like, if this continues and a lot of people still believe, like, said person is innocent or said person is not innocent, they're going to get canceled, and that's just going to lead them to be executed off the platform, because YouTube is becoming more of a safe space that cares more about its reputation than its actual people. that is why it was so quick to cut off so many creators or add such strict guidelines.
Yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be.
Here's my thing. Like, the landscape of the internet itself is just changing. Like, some things that you could say like, back in 2009 and it'd be fine, you can't say now.
It's definitely due to the internet being more widely accessible to people. More people who get very butthurt easily are
Yeah.
going to be getting butthurt easily.
Yeah.
And they're gonna band together with other butthurt people, the other people who get butthurt easily, and they're gonna band together and think that they're making a change when really they're not changing anything.
You're just making yourself feel better.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think for now, that's really it for. That's really it. Cancel culture is a weapon that could possibly be the death of YouTube, but at the same time, I feel more people should be aware of cancel culture and its true nature and what it's capable of.
Let's just say, let's make a hypothetical situation. Let's say everyone on YouTube, like every commentary, every big YouTuber, gets mad and leaves the platform, going to Storyfire. Let's say that.
Right.
Still, YouTube is still integral to, I'd say YouTube is integral to how people, let's say, cook or build stuff, because there are many tutorials on YouTube that can help you with that.
Yeah.
YouTube is still going to be an integral part of, like, if someone's going to look up a tutorial, they're not going to go to storyfire.com. They're going to go to YouTube because that's the most widely accessible. It still, we can just go to another platform, but I feel like YouTube to other people, it means a lot more to those other people, I'd say. Well, not more people, but like, you know what I'm going for, right?
Yeah.
Like, they might leave, but YouTube is still there, and people are still going to use YouTube. People who don't care about this.
Well,
My
I
thing
think
is
that's
like
really-
that doesn't make it good because there's still people who have their times on YouTube genuinely affected and stuff. But I don't think it'll kill YouTube. I think YouTube is always gonna be fine, but it might become a social media like Facebook, where sure it's one of the most popular social medias, but it's kind of like stigmatized. It's just something that a lot of people use, and doesn't really have much of anything about it of note, other than just misinformation, which
Yeah.
that's Facebook.
Well, I think that really does it for now.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I would like to apologize everybody for not having the podcast out yesterday. We've come to an agreement on the schedule. We are now going to do it. See, a thing about Josh and the thing about me is I would kind of like to keep a schedule, but at the same time, Joshua doesn't really like keeping it because it makes it feel more of like a job, which I understand. But so we came to an agreement to have a semi-schedule. So basically, we might record from like Thursday or Friday, and then we'll like edit like maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday. But we'll like record once out of the days, but we'll have a video out guaranteed before like Tuesday/Wednesday. And that's like how we'll have like a semi-consistent thing. But yeah, I'm glad everybody was able to come out here. I appreciate each one of you. Sorry for sounding a bit tired. I'm gonna go get some I'm gonna go lay down on my bed and probably go to sleep after this. So I'm glad you all came out here, and I would like to thank our guests, DJ and Ethan. Thank you guys for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having
No
us.
problem.
Alright,
well,
you guys,
most like,
you guys better have
What?
a good day,
yeah,
better have a
You
good
better.
or else.
And make sure to follow us both, me and DJ, on our social media platforms of choice. Bye.
And if you
Bye.
haven't followed JFletch, subscribe to JFletch on YouTube. Then there's
Kenny
something honestly wrong with you.
If you haven't
kidding.
followed JFletch on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribed to his YouTube channel, what are you doing here? Huh? No, I'm kidding.
By the
Same
way,
with
if you
Kenny
want to see
Dez.
some funny content, go
No.
ahead and subscribe to JFletch and my meme channel, Clone MP4.
Do you mean on Instagram?
Yeah, I said my Instagram.
Twitter.
that was good.
Alright, you guys
What
have a
or?
good day, or else
Yeah, bitch.
I'm gonna steal your dog. And make it
No.
and make
You
it
can't make
Nene.
those. You can't make that. No, Jeffrey.
I'm
no.
gonna train it to Nene.
Just
There's
gonna go
nothing you
throw
can
it
do
back
about
for
it.
50-year-old men on TikTok.
Hey, go, you sure with that ass?
Penny.
Alright, goodbye, guys.